Alrighty, good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Last Senate meeting of the year, so I will go ahead and call this meeting to order at 9:08 a.m. We will go ahead and start off with the land acknowledgement. Associated Students recognizes and acknowledges the first people of this ancestral unceded territory of the Fernandino Tataviam Band of Mission Indians that is now occupied by our campus of California State University, Northridge. Honors their elders past and present, and the descendants who were citizens of the Fernandino Tataviam Band of Mission Indians. Associated Students recognizes that the tribe is still here, and we are committed to lifting up their stories, culture, and community. We'll now go ahead and do the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand if you are able. I will now go ahead and turn it over to our Attorney General for the roll call.
Vice President Anderson, Senator Bovnagry, Senator Chavez, Senator Doe, Senator Dunn, Senator Kaddish, Senator Iman Khan, Senator Awais Khan, Senator Mezabin, Senator Radionov, Senator Sarkeesian, Senator Saravia, Senator Scher, Senator Tybee, Senator Toledo Carranza, Senator Tran, Senator Olgan. We have a quorum.
Thank you to our Attorney General. We'll now go ahead and move over to the approval of the agenda for today's meeting, May 6th. Is there a motion? Senator Doe?
I move to approve the agenda from May 6th.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Dunn, thank you. Is there any discussion? All right. Are there any opposed? All right, the motion passes unanimously. We'll go ahead and move on to the approval of the minutes from our last meeting, April 29th. Is there a motion? Senator Tibby?
I move to approve the minutes for last week's meeting.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Chavez, thank you. Is there any discussion? All right, see no discussion. Are there any opposed? All right, the motion passes unanimously. We don't have any special presentations today, but we will go ahead and move on to open forum. Open forum is intended as an opportunity for any member of the public to address the Associate Student Senate regarding any issues affecting CSUN students. Speakers are allowed 3 minutes each to speak. Please sign in using the clipboard for minute recording purposes. Good morning, James.
Good morning, Paige, and everybody else. Welcome to, or happy last Senate meeting, I guess. I shouldn't say welcome, but hello, everybody. As always, my name is James Forster, and I serve as the AS Programs Manager, just here to provide some event updates. All right, we have a full slate of events this week. So today, from 4 to 7 p.m., we have the Sustainable Fashion Expo, which will be taking place in the Northridge Center. Again, that's from 4 to 7, Sustainable Fashion Expo. We're going to have speakers. We're going to have like a photo shoot there. It's an opportunity for people to come by and actually get their photo taken and then use that for whatever professional means necessary as well. So it's going to be an awesome time. So come on out today from 4 to 7 in the Northridge Center. Tomorrow is our final farmers market. It is our AAPI celebration farmers market. As always, that market is from 10 to 3 p.m. And we'll be having some activities in the square for that. On Wednesday is the Fallen Matador Memorial, which we will be hosting over at the Matador statue. That is a passive event for those of you who are not aware. The event runs from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., but you're welcome to come at any time to honor any fallen matador, family member, loved one, friend who may have passed away in the past year. So that is from 10 to 4, we will have roses there to do a tradition of the rose with white roses to honor those who have passed. So it's only while supplies last, just so you all are aware. And then finally, on Thursday, we will be having our last event for the semester. So our finals are a drag event. I know that there is going to be some conversation regarding funding for that later. So assuming that gets approved, then we'll be having that event on Thursday from 5 to 7 p.m. in the Northridge Center as well too. Then we have a 1-month break from events, and then Summer Movie Fest will be coming back over the summer. So I just wanted to give you all a quick sneak peek onto that. So Summer Movie Fest will be starting the first week of summer, so June 6th. And it'll be running every single Thursday until August 8th. There will be no movie on July 4th because July 4th does fall on Thursday this year. So the campus will be closed at that. But movies that we will be showing are Back to the Future, Kung Fu Panda 4, Barbie, Rogue One, Lego Batman, Dune 2, Elemental, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and our final movie will be a double feature of Shrek 1 and Shrek 2. So we're really looking forward to that. Marketing is going to have some amazing materials that'll come out to advertise those movies soon. But for those of you that are going to be around in the area over summer, hope to see you Thursday nights. Summer Movie Fest. The movies start at dusk, which is typically over the summer around 8 p.m. And that's it for me. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much, James, for your last report of the year. That is so exciting. And I definitely want to come watch Barbie. I love that movie. So I will stop by. Good morning, John.
Good morning, everybody. I'm John Dobler. I'm the Human Resources Manager for Associated Students. And I wanted to take a moment at the last Senate meeting to thank the board for their service this year. We, on the staff side, appreciate all that you do for us. So I just wanted to say thank you and wish you all the best of luck in your next journey, whether that's on campus or off campus. And thank you.
John, you are just incredible and keep this place running smoothly. So thank you. Is anyone else here for open forum? Senator Saravia.
Permission to be recognized.
Granted. Thank you. All right. Seeing no one else, I will go on to my report. It's a little long, a little sappy, but we'll get through it. Well, good morning, everyone. Happy last Senate meeting of the year. I have a few things to report on and then a few thank yous to give. So just wanted to remind you all, we do have a pretty packed agenda, so please make sure you are engaged and that you have even attachments pulled up on your screen. I know they will be shared up on our projector, but just make sure you have them and have already reviewed them prior. So last week I was able to attend one of the Tea Haven events that's put on by the Maryland Magrum Center. And it was actually truly amazing. I was able to table and hand out some of our mental health awareness swag. And everyone loved the design. And I also just want to give a huge shout out to our marketing student assistant Raquel for her brilliant and talented mind on that design. People were loving it and she's so incredible. But definitely next year, I know they're planning on having another Tea Haven kind of series. So if you are on campus, I definitely recommend checking them out. It's just a great way, just like an hour in your day. There's tea, there's always a nice little craft or something to do just to kind of take a break in your day. So truly amazing and grateful for the opportunity to be able to attend. We also had the Valera Nest groundbreaking on Friday. That was an amazing event. And it always just reminds me, these events, just kind of the true shared humanity that is a pillar of CSUN's community. So grateful that I was able to go to that. And I'm sure you all have seen the presentation before. We've seen it at Senate. We've seen it in other just kind of committee meetings we're all on, but this is truly a revolutionary space for our campus. And it is the first of its kind in the CSU. Excuse me, first of its kind in the CSU, and I've been told in the nation. So really amazing things happening at CSUN. It's definitely an invaluable space for our students in advancing their access and destigmatizing basic needs. So fall 2025, it is going to be coming here so soon, and that's when it will open. So looking forward to that. Excuse me, sorry. This weekend I attended CSSA, and that was the last plenary. It was at San Diego State with our Chair of Legislative Affairs and our President-elect. It was a wonderful time just to reflect on all the hard fights we had put up when it came to advocating for students of the CSU. There were several bills that we supported during this plenary, as well as some policy change that with regard to the student trustee interview process. And I think that that policy change really creates a more equitable playing field for all of the candidates who apply. To any of our returning AS members, I really suggest you get involved with CSSA if you have the opportunity. You can attend CS Unity in the fall and then Chess in the spring. These are just great spaces to learn more about the CSU system, advocate for your fellow peers, and just be part of something greater than yourself. So if you have the opportunity, please attend. It is a great time also to connect with other campuses and just kind of see what they're doing, and just also gain fellow support from your colleagues. Last week, we also had our AS end of the year celebration, and I just want to thank the planning committee for their hard work. I know a lot goes into that, but thank you all so much for those of you who served on that. It was such an amazing time to be able to recognize and honor some of our fabulous students and staff and celebrate what a remarkable year it has been. So that was awesome. And I do know we have our leadership luncheon today, so make sure you all attend that if you're able. But on to my thank yous. I wrote this all last night, so I want to get through it. But to our senators here, and those who are not, of course, thank you for your unwavering commitment to our CSUN community. You have truly embraced every challenge with courage and determination. You are resilient leaders. I need to make this bigger. Okay, you're resilient leaders and have tackled definitely tough issues head on, but also while dedicating to representing the voices of your constituents. Your impact extends far beyond the halls of the Grand Salon, and your legacy will undoubtedly inspire future senators to continue to carry out greatness on our campus. Whether you are graduating, your time in AS has come to an end, or you will be returning, continue to embody the Matador spirit and fight for yourself and others to continue to be in these spaces, advocating for our students to receive only the best. Senator Kaddish, Tybee, and Dune, my God. Thank you for chairing our standing committee meetings and for consistently conducting research and expanding initiatives for our student body. I always look forward to every meeting to see what code change internal has made, what Senate bill we are going to support from external, and what kind of new BOBA University Affairs are looking into bringing on campus. So that was a cool meeting. Thank you for your hard work, dedication, and your courage to step up and chair, and your commitment to setting out agendas on time. I know it's not easy, but it's definitely a good life skill to have. Thank you to our few cabinet members that actually sit up here on the board. Our chair of finance, thank you for always being open to discussion from our senators, and your attention to detail and thoroughness will be missed when it comes to every finance request. So thank you for everything that you do, Yvette. To our chief of staff, thank you for always advancing the priorities of our administration and continuing to be a pillar of support for Josie and I. And thank you for your good Monday morning energy. Sam, you are everything. You always have a smile on your face, and also congrats on graduating. That is such an exciting time. And Golden, thank you for your support throughout this entire year. You've continued to guide our senators through it all, every town hall, every Roberts Rule motion, even myself too, and every Senate in a minute. You're definitely the backbone to Senate, and I'm eternally grateful to have had the opportunity to work alongside you this year. Also, your passion and dedication to our local community is truly inspiring, and I cannot wait to see you as Mayor Bachelor, the Golden Mayor of Los Angeles. That sounds pretty good. I like it. And thank you, Madeline, for your support up here, always making sure the minutes are right and correct, and your timeliness when it comes to agendas and everything is always so appreciated. So thank you. And don't forget, everyone, like I mentioned earlier, we do have our AS Leadership Luncheon from 12 to 2 p.m. at the Orchard Conference Center. There will be food and fun awards given out. So just wanted to remind you all of that. Other than that, I wanted to mention something as I was reminded, as stated in one of our previous resolutions that we had passed, or not this administration, but we had passed before. The AS Senate has to recognize that today is Holocaust Remembrance Day. So I wanted to just make sure that I mentioned that. And yeah, I know finals are coming up, so please make sure you take some time for yourself to focus on finals, study hard, get the grades you want, and good luck. And know that we are always here for you, so please feel free to stop in the office if you just need a quiet space or something. But yeah, good luck on finals, and just again, thank you so much for your hard work this year. And I know that next year is going to be amazing as well. So thank you. Are there any questions on my report? Yes, Senator Khan.
Sorry, thank you. Great report. I also want to say that there was a resolution passed in 2021 about the Day of Remembrance for lives lost and affected in the Asian American and Pacific Islander community, which also falls on this day. That was March 2022-21. It's a resolution.
Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Are there any further questions? All right, seeing none, we'll go and move over to Vice President Anderson for her report.
I was gonna say, can I borrow your mic? Hello, everyone. Happy Monday and happy last Senate meeting. The year went by so fast. Cannot believe it, but also very excited to be graduating. I had my first graduation celebration yesterday with my alum ceremony for my sorority, and it actually hit me that I'm leaving and not going to be here and need to figure out what I'll do with myself. But other than that, I'm very excited to be graduating. So congratulations to anyone else who's graduating. It's a very exciting time, especially for those who graduated high school in 2020, because I realized I actually haven't walked a stage or done anything graduation related since I think 2013 when I graduated from middle school. So, or 2014? I don't know when it was. No, 2016. Okay, I can't do math. Anyway, whatever. But that's what I mean. It's very exciting to be doing graduation stuff. Anyway, we wrapped up our executive director search, which is very exciting since we've been doing that since the beginning of the semester. And then we also wrapped up, or I wrapped up our vice provost search, which again is very exciting because we've been doing that since the beginning of the semester. And it was a big time commitment, but it was very useful and I learned a lot and I met a lot of great people. The members of the committee were from all across campus and they were all extremely knowledgeable. The chair of the committee, Ranjit Phillip, was absolutely wonderful. And even though it was a big time commitment in my last semester, I'm thankful that I did it because I learned a lot. We tabled at the softball game last week, which was very cool. It was a good experience, good exposure. Every time we go out to an athletics game, I'm reminded that a lot of people on campus, especially in athletics, don't really know about Associated students. So when we get out there and we start giving them free stuff, they're like, oh my gosh, what is this? Who are you? Why are you giving this to me? And we're like, oh, we're AS. We just want to come spread some Matador cheer at your game. And they really enjoy it. So I would encourage those who are here next year to continue that. I really love sports, so I thought it was a great time. But yeah, thank you, Denise and Ruby, for tabling with me so I wasn't alone. I really appreciated that. And yeah, it was a good time. And I'm pretty much done with all of my meetings and work. Besides, I have an admission advisory meeting next week with the chancellor's office, and then we have a meeting with the provost and vice provost. So excited for that. And then outside of any updates, I just wanted to say thank you, Senate, for all of your hard work. It's much appreciated, and we're really inspired by your advocacy, and just a huge thank you. Great job to our chairs. You've all done a wonderful job, and thank you to our committees for producing wonderful work. Thank you, Madeline, Golden, Sam, and Yvette for supporting the Senate and making sure that everything runs well. Thank you, Denise and Paige, for being great pillars of support. I appreciate it a lot. Good luck to the next administration. We are rooting for you, and feel free to let us know if you need anything. And make sure to come to the leadership celebration at 12. It will be a good time, and we have some fun awards to give out, so make sure you come. And on that note, thank you all. I wish you the best of luck, whether you're graduating, continuing in AS, or just living your life. You have my contact information, so feel free to reach out to me if you ever need anything, if you just want a friend to hang out with. Yeah, thanks for everything. Bye.
Thank you so much to Vice President Anderson. Are there any questions on her report? Yes, Senator Toledo Carranza.
Permission to be recognized?
Granted. Thank you. Alrighty, we'll go ahead and move on to our Chief of Staff's report. Take it away, Sam.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for this time, this last Senate meeting. I know it's this bittersweet moment, as we have probably mentioned these last few weeks very consistently. But I wanted to thank all those who supported the AS Grad Bash last week. James and the production team, Ariana and Daniel and the entire marketing team, Denise for your never-ending support, Ruby, Ali, Paige, and Josie for those who were able to table and just be there in spirit, and all those who even participated in sharing the marketing material on your stories for Instagram was very helpful. And I'm thanking thankful for all of your support. So huge thank you to all of you. Last week was our last cabinet meeting that we had on Wednesday. It was a great time that we were able to finish up some last conversations and just enjoy our time together as it was our last time. The end of the year celebration was also a blast. Thank you for everyone else who was able to attend. And last meeting, this is today. We just hopefully please give out, keep an eye out for any of the AS events that we have this last week. Please, attend if you have the chance to. James mentioned all the events that are happening this week. So if you're able to either show your support by tabling or doing some type of last, give your time for this last week, it'd be really appreciated. And I just have a last couple of words of wisdom as a graduating senior. And I hope that take them with a grain of salt or don't. But I hope that they inspire you for this next administration. So thank you for those who are returning, and your service is very much taken into consideration. And thank you for all those who even served this year. But I just want to say that never stop having those tough conversations with those people, even if they're uncomfortable. This is why we're in our roles of leadership, being able to have those conversations, good or bad. Never stop finding solutions to these. Constantly think of unity and gathering and making sure that our school spirit is never ending here on campus. Be kind and respectful to all people. Continue to be diverse and inclusive, even to people who look different than you. Find your passion with this organization, because without that fire that's under you, I don't know why we would be here, which is why we're all here. We have this fire and this passion for leadership and making sure that we're here together. So take advantage of the opportunities that are given to you by this organization and of CSUN as a whole, and just continue to just be positive within this next year. So thank you, and Chief of Staff is signing out.
Sorry. Thank you to our Chief of Staff, Ryan, for her report. Are there any questions? Alrighty, before I move on to our Chair of Finance, I did just want to touch on Iman's comment to further kind of clarify. So thank you, Iman, for bringing it up. It was a resolution that was passed in 2021. And I'm just going to go ahead and read a quick line. It says the Associated Students hereby designates that each first Senate meeting of May in honor of Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month as a day of remembrance for lives lost and affected in the Asian American and Pacific Islander community due to the xenophobia towards Asian peoples. So I just wanted to clarify that. Thank you again for bringing it up. And yeah, definitely important to review our resolutions we've passed before. So we'll go ahead and move on to our Chair of Finance, Tran, for her report.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Happy last Senate meeting. I'll begin by sharing our account balances for the last time this semester. Within STAR, we have $127,43,000. Unassigned contingency, we have $657,149. Unassigned contingency has $13,450. Philanthropy fund has $15,000, and clubs and orgs travel has $264. Last week, we hosted our last Finance Committee meeting for the year. Finance Committee, I'm so proud of the work that my committee has done in just simplifying the annual budget process, making it more transparent to students, and also reducing any redundancies in the form. So it's just easier for everyone involved in the process. So I'm very happy of the work my committee has done and the thoughtfulness that they've taken in the deliberation process as well. The Finance Committee ended last week. We'll be seeing a lot of our recommendations in Senate today, in this meeting and also in our 2 special meetings after this one as well. And although Finance Committee has ended, both myself and Assistant Chair Leslie Ponce will be continuing doing our finance work until the transition over when we have new financial people in cabinet. This way we can just ensure that students that have submitted STAR requests have their requests processed and they're able to receive funding for their events. Aside from that, I just want to say thank you to everyone in AS and the campus community for facilitating the work of our committee and AS and just supporting all of our endeavors. And I'm really grateful to have been in this opportunity to learn so much as I did this past year. So thank you so much.
I am very sorry about my voice. Thank you to our Chair of Finance, Tran, for all of your hard work and dedication this year. Really, really appreciate it. And a huge shout out to your Finance Committee as well. We'll go ahead and move on to our Attorney General's report.
Good morning, everyone. Congratulations on making it to the very last Senate meeting. Thank you so much for all the hard work that you all have done. You've made a real big difference on this campus, and I hope that some of you who are going to be going into the next year in AS are going to continue making these great changes. It's been just such a life-changing experience for me, and I'm so grateful to everyone here. And I hope we all stay in touch after this as well. And I hope to see you at the luncheon so we can really celebrate this this year that we've had, and just this great experience of getting to know each other even more so than just the changes we've made. Also, big news is that today is Senator Toledo Carranza's birthday. So happy birthday to you. And also, I believe just a few days ago, it was Senator Doe's birthday too, right? Yes, that's right. So happy birthday to you too. Maybe we can sing for you at the luncheon. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Golden. And yes, great way to close off the year with some birthdays. So happy birthday. Hope you had a great day, Lena, and hope you have a great day today, Lorena. So awesome. Are there any questions on our Attorney General's report? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and turn it over to our standing committee report, starting with Senator Kaddish from External Affairs.
Well, it was nice working with all of you. No, but it really was. Truthfully, I did not have the best experience in college, but I am really glad that there is a space for us students to come together and advocate on behalf of our entire student body. Being chair of external affairs was a highlight of my time here at CSUN and in CSUN AS. I am very happy with the work that we got done and for the time we spent together as a committee, as a Senate, and a student leadership. And I'm really looking forward to hearing about what positive change will be brought about by the next administration. But yeah, I'll save all the content for the reports for the special meeting agenda.
Thank you. Yes, Matthew, you'll be back on the mic very soon. So thank you so much for all your hard work and just leading our senators in our standing committee. So thank you, Matthew. We'll go ahead and turn it over to our Chair of Internal Affairs, Senator Tybee.
Good morning, everybody. I actually have a pretty lengthy report, most of which is the product of a lot of back and forth conversation I've been having with a particular constituent. And then also we have a motion out of the committee, which I'll touch upon a little bit later. But the discussion I've been having is a member of the emerging media management option within the television production major in the Arts and Media Communication College. And so this is about the CIP code for this particular option. And the television production program within CTVA is comprised of multiple options, of which are our identity, and it's what we concentrate towards in our studies. So these options are documentary, entertainment media management, emerging media management, and more. And a CIP code is what a department classifies a major with the U.S. Department of Immigration for international students. And so why is all this a big deal? CIP codes are essentially black and white between being STEM or not STEM, and STEM classified programs grant 3 years of a work permit for graduating international students, and non-STEM is only 1 year. And this is backed up by multiple professors, but Emerging Media Option integrates many STEM components, but its current classification is radio and television, which is only 1 year, as opposed to something like animation, interactive technology, video graphics, and special effects, which is 3 years. And I believe business analytics or a similar major within the business college had a similar issue last year or 2 years ago. But it's a critical problem on the structuring of our programs. And I'm just commenting about this to spread awareness. And I hope this will be looked a bit more on by the next administration or people looking through the minutes in the future, and to everybody here. So moving past that, onto our motion out of the committee. I'm excited to be voting on Scantron accessibility resolution because Scantrons are in place now, but nothing is making it permanent. And this resolution makes this be permanent and ensures our efforts stay in fruition until in the future somebody decides to not make it permanent. But that's what we have right now. And aside from this, thank you to everybody here and everybody in Internal Affairs for making this year an excellent experience. So.
Thank you so much to our chair. So we will go ahead and go over the motion out of the committee, which is with regard to Scantron accessibility. Is there any discussion? All right, see no discussion. All those in favor of approving the Senate bill with regard to Scantron accessibility, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstained? Great, the motion passes. Awesome. Well, congratulations to Internal Affairs. And again, thank you for all of your hard work this year. Really appreciate it, Nick. We'll go ahead and move over to University Affairs with Senator Dunn.
All right, so last week was our last meeting. And in our last meeting, we were able to get some reports out, which we'll be hopefully voting on today. Yeah, that's all I have to report. We essentially passed those reports and you'll see them soon.
Awesome. Thank you, Senator Dunn, for your always just vivacious Monday morning energy and for all your hard work with University Affairs. We really, really appreciate it. Alrighty, we will go ahead and move over to our AS Executive Director's report from Patrick. I will go ahead and read it off. So, first of all, he says, best of luck on your finals and congrats to all the soon-to-be graduates. We are interviewing candidates for the Assistant Director of the Children's Center and finalizing the offers for both the Sports Club Coordinator and Facilities Coordinator. We have just received the final quotes from the campus on the installation of the HVAC system and the replacement of the roof, and that is for the Children's Center. Once those quotes are evaluated, we will bring the totals before the Senate for approval. Thank you all for a wonderful year in leadership. Thank you, Patrick. If you guys have any questions on his report, you're more than welcome to email him. But we'll go ahead and move on to our University Advisor report, Asia Butler.
Good morning. So today we just have our Greek graduation celebration here in the Grand Salon at 6 o'clock today. And we're just looking forward to closing out the end of the semester. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for always being here and giving us all the updates. And congrats to our Greek graduates this year. That's so exciting. We'll go ahead and move over to our faculty advisor, Veda Ward.
Everyone, it's really a joy, of course, to be here and welcome you all to the final week of the formal instruction, I guess, of the semester. I do wish you, of course, good luck with final papers, finals, and making your way to graduation or whatever related ceremonies may be occurring in your colleges and departments. This is, of course, a bittersweet time for faculty as well as for students. As I always say, we aren't here unless you're here. So we always want to support you and congratulate you for your academic as well as your co-curricular achievements this semester. So it's been really great to be here. I would like to offer a large ditto to reinforce all of the support that you've shared for each other, your staff, administrators, and all of the amazing commitments you have made to the committee meetings that you've had throughout the year. And it's been really great to acknowledge and recognize what you've done. In the past month, I'm hoping that you have been able to really recognize support from your faculty and staff in your relative departments as we've gone through many of the external issues in our world and society. And I know it's not an easy thing to do. I hope that some of the faculty have opened your classroom spaces to articulation, your open expression of how you are feeling and doing, whether it's just mental health or your own political activism. So again, the goal is that we're here for you and to recognize who you are as whole human beings. And I really want to applaud your initiatives in all of those areas, as well as supporting you personally in terms of what you're thinking and feeling as students at this university. So as we enter May, of course, we acknowledge worker rights around the world, and those are at all levels of work and involvement. And also our Asian American Pacific Islanders Month. Hopefully, again, even though we're at the end, you'll see and hear some of those voices in the classrooms and in the readings and videos, images that you have and that you see. And when you don't see those things, please let the faculty know so that we can incorporate those for future generations and classes as well. So I'd like to spur you on to really enjoy graduation. And as they say, to remember that it's not the end, but it's really the beginning. And I'm sure that you're all going to do well. And as your VP said, whether it's at home, just continuing your life, whatever it is that you're doing, I wish you the best.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ward, just for your endless support of AS and your Monday morning words of wisdom. Thank you all. Thank you so much. And I will definitely miss hearing. I'll have to listen, honestly, to Zoom every morning to hear your report because you always have something beautiful to share. So thank you. We will go ahead and move on. We don't have any unfinished business, but we will move on to some new business. We have a couple items. So we will first start off with line item A, which is to allocate $4,917 from unassigned contingency to AS Productions for Finals Are a Drag. It's for 2 drag queens / kings, room rental equipment, prizes, testing, supplies, and snacks. Again, all of the finance requests are attached to the agenda today. But is there a motion? Senator Saravia.
I move to approve the allocation of $4,917 from unassigned contingency to AS Productions for Finals Are a Drag event.
Thank you so much. Is there a second? Vice President Anderson, thank you. Is there any discussion? All right, see no discussion. All those in favor of approving the allocation as read by Senator Saravia, I do not want to read it all again. Please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstained? All right, the motion passes. Thank you. We will go ahead and move on to line item. Oh, congrats, James. We'll go ahead and move on to line item B to allocate $32,210 from unassigned contingency to AS Information Technology for 18 mind screens and digital signage. Is there a motion? Senator Saravia.
I move to approve the allocation of $32,210 from unassigned contingency to AS Information Technology for 18 mind screens and digital signage.
Thank you for reading that all the way through. Is there a second? Senator Tybee, thank you. Is there any discussion? Yes, Senator Saravia.
Just for clarification, the mind screen project is to just better the mind screens that we already have, or is it to add? Because I couldn't figure it out.
All good. I think I'll turn it over to our Chair of Finance to address your question.
Yeah, of course. You could turn it over to me, but it's more appropriate if we turn it up to IT up there. But for the mind screen requests, they're requesting to replace a lot of the screens on campus and then just to like update it as well. Currently, they're like a lot of the fees that we allocate each year, or the budget that we allocate towards IT for the mind screens each year go towards maintenance and like the occasional buying of 1 or 2 new screens, but they want to replace the majority of all the screens.
Yes, sorry to our Chair of Finance. I wish I could turn over to IT, but unfortunately I cannot. So, you bet it is. Alrighty, does that kind of answer your question, Senator Saravia? Okay, awesome. Is there any further discussion? All right, seeing no further discussion, all those in favor of approving line item B, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstained? Great, the motion passes. We'll go ahead and move on to line item C to allocate $100,000 from unassigned contingency to associate students for 2 new AS scholarships. Is there a motion? Senator Tybee.
I move to allocate $100,000 from unassigned contingency to associate students for 2 new AS scholarships. I move to approve it.
Thank you, Senator Tybee. Is there a second? Vice President Anderson, thank you. Is there any discussion? Yes, Senator Toledo Carranza.
I wanted to ask what kind of scholarships are these scholarships about?
Yes. Can I answer that? Okay, because this is my request, so thank you. So we do want to create 2 new scholarships. And right now, the way we're going to do it is it's going to be through an endowment. So AS has the opportunity to be able to kind of pick the eligibility requirements for that. So our former provost has developed this kind of scholarship data, like kind of scholarship portal that really highlights different communities that really maybe need more access to scholarships. And so our plan is to work with her and that scholarship portal that she's created and developed to kind of understand what communities need more scholarships. And that's what we're going to tailor these 2 scholarships towards.
And so you said that it was going to be work on different communities. So my question is, how is this going to be finalized? And is there a committee for this?
Yes, my plan is to, I mean, obviously we won't have another Senate meeting that I'm running, but I will make the recommendations on what the eligibility requirements. And from my understanding, I think it will go to Senate to be approved. So it will come back to Senate after I make those recommendations.
Thank you.
Of course. Okay. Is there any further discussion? Yes. Senator Olgan.
My question is that one of the scholarships are designated for only undergraduate students. And is there any discussion in the future for also grad students as well benefiting from these scholarships?
Yeah, so right now there's no eligibility requirements established. So we can definitely look into that when we go through that process.
Thank you.
Of course, yeah. And these are actually the 2 scholarships that we're creating based off of, or the 2 scholarships that we're creating are very, very special and near to Josie and I. So that's kind of our little last hurrah. But more details to come once, once it's finalized and everything. So, yeah. Of course, yes. There is a purpose to these scholarships. We just have not shared it yet. But you will understand once if it is passed. So, is there any further discussion? All right, seeing no further discussion, all those in favor of approving line item C, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstained? Great, the motion passes. Awesome. Okay, we'll go ahead and move over to line item D to allocate $50,000 from unassigned contingency to associate students for additional funds to the Support You Deserve Scholarship. Is there a motion? Senator Saravia.
I move to approve the allocation of $50,000 from unassigned contingency to associated students for additional funds to support to the Support You Deserve Scholarship.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Toledo Carranza, thank you. Is there any discussion? All right. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor of line item D, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstained? All right, the motion passes. Alrighty, and our last line item under new business is line item E to approve the AS hospitality policy, and that is attached to this agenda. Is there a motion? Senator Saravia.
I move to approve the AS hospitality policy.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Khan, thank you. Is there any discussion? All right, seeing no discussion. All those in favor of approving the AS hospitality policy, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstained? Great, the motion passes. We do have some information items, and these are with regard to our AS chartered clubs. Again, the Senate does not need to take any action on this. It's just, I think, an update on the most recent chartered clubs from Judicial Court. So that includes CISA and Swim, the Python Club, Project Impossible, Scrubs and Scholars Pre-Med Club, Student Association for Behavioral Analysis, and our CISA and Physical Therapy Club. Alrighty. We will go ahead and move on. We don't have any discussion items nor legislative referrals. I mean, obviously, but continue to submit those next year. Are there any announcements from the board? Alrighty, seeing none, we'll go ahead and turn it over to our Attorney General for the final roll call.
Vice President Anderson, Senator Bobnagree, Senator Chavez, Senator Doe, Senator Dunn, Senator Kaddish, Senator Iman Khan, Senator Owais Khan, Senator Mezabin, Senator Radionov, Senator Sarkeesian, Senator Saravia, Senator Scher, Senator Tybee, Senator Toledo Carranza, Senator Tran, Senator Olgan. Thank you.
Thank you so much to our Attorney General. That is definitely not the final roll call, I think, of today, but close to the end. I will go ahead and adjourn this meeting at 9:54 a.m. And you all are more welcome to, use the restroom or anything, but we do have another meeting at 10 a.m., a special meeting agenda. So please be here by like 9:59. Thank you. Thank you. Is there anyone else here for open forum? All right, I don't want to miss anyone, so we will go ahead. This is the last call for open forum. Alrighty. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on to, we don't have any reports today. We already shared them in our earlier Senate meeting, but we'll go ahead and move on to new business. The first one being or from External Affairs to approve the report on transparent course material cost. Is there any discussion? Yes, Senator Kaddish.
So just to elaborate on what this report is about, essentially it's going over what the committee worked on in terms of transparent course material costs. Overall, the committee found that the current direction of where transparent course material costs is heading on campus is going in a pretty good direction. And yeah, I don't know if anyone else had anything to add to this report, but I did want to make one quick amendment for the title, but yeah, if anyone wants to add anything.
Alrighty, is there any further discussion? Okay, Matthew, I don't see any further discussion, so I would recommend making your amendment. Yes, Senator Kaddish.
I move to amend the title to Report on Transparent Course Material Cost Referral.
You're just adding referral to the end of the title name, correct? Okay, thank you. Is there a second? Senator Chavez, thank you. Is there any discussion? Alrighty. Alrighty, is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor of approving that amendment, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstained? All right, the motion passes. Alrighty, now that we have the amendment or the motion. There we go, amendment to the motion. I was missing that. Alrighty, is there any further discussion on the amendment to the motion? Okay. Alrighty. Is there any further discussion on the amended motion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor of approving the amended motion, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstained? Right, the motion passes. Alrighty, thank you. We'll go ahead and move on to line item B, motion out of committee from external affairs to approve the report on support for divestment, from War on Campus. Is there a motion? Got ahead of myself there. Is there any discussion? Yes, Senator Kaddish.
Okay, so here is our report on the referral that was submitted about a month ago. It mainly addresses the timeline and some concerns brought up in the discussion around this topic. The referral was received very late into the semester while the committee was focused on finishing up some other work. So instead of having a poorly made resolution, we wrote into the report of what our intentions currently are for where AS will take this discussion. Firstly, looking into associated student specific spending as a whole in relation to all ethical spending, and then looking into divestment as a means of approach to spending for associated students as an auxiliary organization. And we did want to make some amendments for clarity and to add a statement on CSSA's resolution. But the proposed amendments should be shown on screen.
Senator Kaddish.
Yeah, so just to go over the amendments that we were thinking about. The first one is the same as the previous, add referral into the title. Another change is to change the verbiage Israeli-Palestinian conflict into human rights violations in Palestine. The next edit we would like to make is rather than say does not see divestment as feasible, we would like to say is not yet sure if divestment in relation to human rights violations in Palestine is possible, advisable, or if AS is even invested in the first place. Concerns regarding divestment in relation to CSUN AS were raised as follows, and then that would be the remainder of the language. And then continuing to add a few notes of clarity, words of clarity, and then adding an additional statement saying, and plan to look into whether or not divestment is a possible course of action we wish to take in regards to any issue, including the aforementioned conflict. Lastly, associate students echoes the sentiments stated in CSSA's resolution 2024-01, calling of ceasefire in the Gaza Strip, condemning human rights violations, war crimes, and reaffirming students' freedom of speech and expression, and then deleting some extra verbiage that would basically be included in that resolution.
Thank you, Senator Kaddish. I would like to let you know that you will have to make an individual amendment for each item, correct? Thank you for going over it though, but I just wanted to clarify that just per Robert's rules. So, I apologize that is very going to be a lengthy process, but I do appreciate you following that. Oh, sorry, Senator Kaddish.
Okay, so since we're doing it line by line, I think that changes what I was thinking about how I want to approach amending this report. If we could take a look at the second document then, so I think we could just edit each line by line. Because I think the second document is a little bit more thorough.
This is my copy of amendments. I would like to make the yellow is the
Wait,
initial.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Are we making an amendment? You need to be called on to speak.
Word. Oh, sorry.
Matthew, you're not the chair. Just kidding. Senator Khan.
The yellow is the amendments that were initially going to be made, along with some amendments I have also made. The orange is the new amendments from the old doc, but we will go about it in the way that we just amend it all at once. There are certain lines that are now or certain words that are now crossed out to provide for declarative language. There is also the orange writing you can see where CSUN, instead of echoes the sentiments, we stand with CSSA's resolution. Other than that, they are the same amendments made or discussed by Matthew.
Alrighty, again, we will not be able to approve all of them at once. They need to be individual amendments to the report. So just wanted to throw that out there again.
So as we're going through amendments, keep in mind that also these are not the, like, we're having two different kinds of amendments that are being put in front of you. So if you don't like an amendment, you can vote it down and then you can go for a different amendment, or you can, everything is kind of how you want to do it. You can also propose your own amendments if you think the language doesn't fit exactly what you're thinking.
Yes, Senator Toledo Carranza.
May I have both of those copies, because I don't have them, like from both amendments? If that could be sent to us.
We're not going to send the amendments. Really, no one has the amendments. Yeah, so right now, this is just for everyone to kind of understand. They shouldn't really be up there in the first place, and they should just be made during the Senate meeting. And that's just per Robert's rules. So, but if this is now this is the opportunity to make an amendment if you would like. Senator Kaddish.
I move to amend the title of the report to report on the support for divestment from war on campus referral.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Saravia, thank you. Is there any discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor of the proposed amendment, which again is just adding referral to the end of the title, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstained? The motion passes, or the amendment passes, excuse me. Are there any further amendments? Senator Kaddish?
I move to strike through the Israeli-Palestine conflict and instead replace it with human rights violations in Palestine.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Doe, is there any discussion? Great, see none. All those in favor of striking through the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and changing it to human rights violations in Palestine, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstained? The motion passes. Any further amendments? Senator Kaddish?
Right, I move to amend, let's see, what paragraph? Paragraph number 6, to instead strike through, does not see divestment as feasible, and then replace it with is not yet sure if divestment in relation to human rights violations in Palestine is possible, advisable, or if AS is even invested. Concerns regarding divestment in relation to CSUN AS were raised as follows.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Khan, is there any discussion? All right, seeing no discussion, all those in favor of striking through does not see divestment as feasible to now is not yet sure if divestment in relation to human rights violations in Palestine is possible, advisable, or if AS is invested in the first place. Concerns regarding divestment in relation to CSUN AS were raised as follows. Please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstained? 3 abstentions. The motion passes. Any further amendments? Senator Kaddish.
All right, I move to amend the line, however, while Associated Students does not immediately plan to divest at the moment, AS intends to devote time and effort to forming a streamlined opinion, definition, and statement around ethical spending that reflects the existing CSU policies and voices of the opinion of the student body. 2, associated students intends to devote time and effort to forming a streamlined opinion, definition, and statement around ethical spending that reflects the existing CSU policies and voices the opinion of the student body.
Alrighty, sorry. Okay, is there a second? Senator Saravia, thank you. Is there any discussion? Senator Tybee.
In the language, it says that we intend to devote time. I think it'll be better to state that we will devote time.
So you can make an amendment to the amendment if you want to change the wording.
Okay. Is that something I should do after we vote on what Matthew just proposed?
You can make an immediate amendment to the amendment.
Okay. I move to make an immediate amendment to the amendment to change the wording from intend to will devote time, effort to forming a streamlined opinion, definition, and statement around ethical spending that reflects the existing CSU policies and voices the opinion of the student body.
Thank you for that. Is there a second? Senator Kaddish, thank you. Is there any discussion? All right, see no discussion. All those in favor, all those in favor of approving the amendment to the amendment. This is really testing my Robert's Rule skills, I will say, which essentially would say AS will devote time instead of intends to devote time. And then followed by the rest, which I will read in a little bit. Please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstained? 3 abstentions. The motion passes. We will now go out to our original amendment that has now been amended as well. Alrighty, we'll go back to our previous amendment. Is there any further discussion? Alrighty, all those in favor of approving the amendment as amended, which I will just go ahead and read out just so everyone is aware of what we're voting on this time. There's so many amendments. It will be AS will devote time and effort to forming a streamlined opinion, definition, and statement around ethical spending that reflects the existing CSU policies and voices the opinion of the student body. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstained? The motion passes. Alrighty, any further amendments? Senator Kaddish.
Okay, after it says, or I move to amend the report to say after or unethical practices identified to include the statement and plan to look into divestment. Yeah, that's it.
Can you repeat that, Matthew?
So after, or should I whole motion?
Yeah.
I
Thank you.
move to amend the report to say after unethical practices identified, to say instead, well, in addition to, and plan to look into divestment.
I don't see that in the original report.
So it's above the word lastly, so after it says identified. So it'd be in between there. So it'd be adding the statement and plan and to look into divestment.
Okay, thank you. I did not hear you properly. I'm sorry. Alrighty. Can you repeat just the statement that you want to add? I apologize.
So change that period to a comma and say, and plan to look into divestment.
Thank you. Alrighty, is there a second? Senator Doe, thank you. Is there any discussion? Great, see no discussion. All those in favor of adding and plan to look into divestment after the unethical practices identified, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstained? The motion passes. Any further? Yes, Senator Khan.
I move to amend the first sentence of the last paragraph. Lastly, Associated Students condemns harassment, hate crimes, hate speech, doxing, and suppression of freedom of speech, including acts of anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. To lastly, Associated Students CSUN stands with CSSA's Resolution 2024-01 calling of ceasefire in the Gaza Strip, condemning human rights violations, war crimes, and reaffirming students' freedom of speech and expression. Associated Students condemns harassment, hate crimes, hate speech, doxing, and suppression of freedom of speech.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Saravia, is there a discussion? Right, see no discussion. All those in favor of amending the last line, I'm just going to go ahead and read it off. Lastly, Associated Students echoes the sentiments stated in CSSA's resolution number 2024-01, calling of ceasefire in the Gaza Strip, condemning human rights violations, war crimes, and reaffirming students' freedom of speech and expression. Associated Students condemns harassment, hate crimes, hate speech, doxing, and suppression of freedom of speech. Yes, Senator Khan?
That wasn't the verbiage used in the amendment. Lastly, CSUN Associated Students stands with CSSA's resolution, not echoes the sentiments. Stands with.
Stands with. I appreciate you clarifying that. Is there any further discussion? Oh, I'm sorry. All those in favor of approving that amendment, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstained? The motion passes. Are there any further amendments? Alrighty, going once. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Great, I don't see any further amendments. So alrighty, we will now go ahead and move on to the to the discussion to the discussion portion, excuse me, of the report as amended. Is there any further discussion? Yes, Senator Saravia.
Just really quickly, I wanted to thank all of the authors of this report, just because I know this takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of research, a lot of talking, a lot of conversations that are uncomfortable. So I just wanted to thank you guys and thank the students that are here to see this report being voted on. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Yes, Senator Toledo Carranza.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank all of the authors too. Please support this referral. Just saying that and just putting it out there.
Thank you, Senator Toledo Carranza. All right, is there any further discussion? All right, seeing no further discussion, all those in favor of approving the report, support for divestment from war on campus as amended, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstained? Okay, the motion passes. We'll go ahead and move on to another motion out of committee from External Affairs to approve the report on investigating the dorm cafeteria. Is there a motion? Sorry, is there any discussion? Senator Kaddish.
Yeah, so this report was written by our wonderful Golden Bachelor Attorney General of Associate Students. So this kind of goes over our little field trip we had to GMOs to both try the food for ourselves, so we know what we're talking about, and also to survey students that were currently dining at the time. So the report includes our statistics of the survey results we were able to gather, and then yeah, just some summarization of our overall findings, I did want to make a few amendments, but we can do that line by line again, and not as many as the last one, thankfully.
Attorney General?
And I just wanted to point out with this one that there were formatting issues when transferring from Google Docs or transferring from Word to Google Docs and back. So this has formatting issues, but they have since been resolved. And since it's only formatting, it doesn't need an amendment. But just a heads up when you see some strange indenting and things like that, that has been resolved and does not need an amendment.
Thank you to our Attorney General for that clarification. Is there any further discussion? All right. Oh, Senator Saravia?
I just want to say thank you on behalf of students that do unfortunately have to dine at GMO's. I know this took a lot of effort and a lot of talking to students and stuff like that. So thank you so much for making this report golden, and thank you so much to everyone that went out there and surveyed all the students just to get an idea of what they are investing their dollars into and whether it was worth the dollars. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Yes, Senator Tybee.
I'll also second that, seeing like exact data like this and averages about all the students and what they think was extremely helpful. I will add that GMOS is a nice treat to have on campus when I dined last year. And so I am very thankful of the facility and the meal plans being an option and the convenient dining that we have, as well as the, in my opinion, the really nice scenery in Bamboo. That was always my favorite.
Thank you. Yes, I think over the past couple of years, AS has a strong commitment to dining on campus. Is there any further discussion? Yes, Vice President Anderson.
Yeah, I just want to echo, this is working, yeah. I just want to echo what Senator Tybee and President Hodgeloo said. Although we are advocating for better service, better options, all of those things, we're still lucky to have these options. And the TUC has really been investing time into bettering the facilities. So I don't want our efforts here to be misconstrued. We are lucky to have this.
Thank you, Vice President Anderson. Is there any further discussion? Yes, Senator Kaddish.
So I personally like GMOs, but it would be great. This isn't in the report. That's why I'm just saying this. It would be great if sushi got brought back. I think 1 or 2 people did say that. But also, so I was thinking about making an amendment to include language to reference the food survey report. If there is someone here that would be better at making that amendment than me, then that would be much appreciated. But I will go ahead and give it a try if no one else does. But yeah.
In the interest of time, Matthew, I would suggest you making that amendment. Senator Kaddish.
Okay, First Amendment, I move to amend the title to report on GMA. Oh wait, is it still report on? Okay, maybe I need a point of clarification first. Is the current report title on the agenda report on GMO survey results or? Okay, no, sorry, never mind. Should I restart?
Do you want to make an amendment?
Yes.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, I move to change the title of the report to or from report on investigating dorm cafeteria to report on investigating dorm cafeteria referral.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Tybee, thank you. Is there any discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor of approving that amendment, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstained? Right, the motion passes. Yes, Senator Kaddish.
Okay, so after, or I move to amend the report to say after and only worth the cost for half of the customers to also include the 2 sentences. Also of note, there is a sentiment of a lack of availability in different options for those with dietary restrictions. One student even mentioned They would be vegan, but they are now vegetarian due to the lack of options in GMOs.
Thank you for that. Is there a second? Senator Saravia? Is there any discussion? All right, see no discussion. All those in favor of approving the amendment made by Senator Kaddish, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstained? We're going to go ahead and do that count over again. I'm sorry. All those in favor of approving that amendment, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstained? The motion passes. Are there any further amendments, Senator Kaddish? Yes, Senator Kaddish.
I would also like to amend, or I move to amend the report to say after, with this information, we see there is significant room for growth in the reputation of dining options for housing residents. To also include the statement, associated students will also like to recall the findings in our food survey report from the previous administration.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Saravia, thank you. Is there any discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor of approving the amendment made by Senator Kaddish, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstained? Right, the motion passes. Are there any further amendments, Senator Kaddish? Okay, thank you. We'll now go ahead and move back to the discussion of the original motion, but now as amended. Is there any further discussion before we move into a vote? Alrighty, we will now go ahead and move into a vote. All those in favor of approving the report investigating dorm cafeteria as amended, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstain? The motion passes. We will now go ahead and enter the committee of the whole. Is there a motion to enter? Senator Saravia.
I move to enter committee of the whole.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Toledo Carranza, thank you. Is there any discussion? Are there any opposed? Great, the motion passes unanimously. We are now in committee of the whole, and we do have a couple reports and requests, I guess. So the first one being to approve the transfer request of $7,170 out of the committee member incentives account to Senator/committee chair stipends account for 2 additional stipends approved by the Internal Affairs Committee and the AS Senate. Is there a motion? Senator Saravia.
I move to approve the transfer request of $7,170 out of committee member incentives account to Senator committee chair stipends account for 2 additional stipends approved by Internal Affairs and Senate.
Thank you. Is there a second? Vice President Anderson, thank you. Is there any discussion? Yes, Senator Tybee.
I just wanted to restate some things and also add to what this is about, but this meeting and the meeting in the beginning of this of the previous semester, as well as our AS required events in both periods of time, are under any kind of stipend period for senators. And these total required activities are around 20 hours of required time volunteered. It's kind of ironic, required time volunteered. But stipends serve as an incentive for students of all income ranges to divert their time throughout the week to AS activities and ensure there are no barriers of entry with the times required. That last point being the most important.
Thank you so much. Is there any further discussion? All right, see none. All those in favor of approving the transfer request as stated in the Senate agenda, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstained? Great, the motion passes. We'll go ahead and move over to the line item number 2 to approve the report on providing international students alternatives for best health insurance to purchase and organizing workshops to helping them use their health insurance efficiently. Is there a motion? Senator Saravia.
I move to approve the report on providing international students alternatives for best health insurance to purchase and organize workshops to help them use their health insurance efficiently.
Thank you so much. Is there a second? Senator Chavez, thank you. Is there any discussion? Yes, Senator Kaddish.
Yeah, so this is a report that wasn't able to be approved by external affairs. So that's why it's in committee of the whole, but it was something that was worked in external affairs for a good while. But it essentially covers the work that was done by the committee to look into alternatives for healthcare for international students. And so a big part of this report is looking at what other CSU campuses do to see what their alternatives are. So that way maybe CSUN could take a look at our neighboring campuses to see if we should echo what they're doing. But yep, that's about it for the report.
Thank you, Senator Kaddish. Is there any further discussion? Yes, Senator Kaddish.
I move to amend the report's title to say, to add referral to the end of it.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Saravia, thank you. Is there any discussion? All right, seeing no discussion, all those in favor of approving the amendment just to add referral to the end of the report title, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstained? All right, the motion passes. All right, we'll go ahead. Are there any further amendments, Senator Kaddish? Okay, thank you. We'll go ahead and move over to the discussion portion of the original motion. Is there any further discussion? Yes, Vice President Anderson.
I know she's not here, but I just wanted to thank Melita for all of her hard work on this. She put a lot of time into it and used, she put a lot of time into it, and we're very thankful for her, and I'm very proud of her. So thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Anderson. Is there any further discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor of approving the report on providing international students alternatives for best health insurance to purchase and organizing workshops to help them use their health insurance efficiently as amended, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstained? Great, the motion passes. We'll go ahead and move on to line item number 3, which is to approve the report on requests for changing tables in campus bathrooms. Is there a motion? Senator Toledo Carranza.
I move to approve the report on requests for changing tables in campus bathrooms.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Olgan, thank you. Is there any discussion? Senator Saravia.
Hi. So I wrote this report on a referral that was submitted by Senator Olgan. We unfortunately got it like the second to last meeting, so there wasn't too much that I was able to do except try to figure out how many changing tables there are on campus and where they are located. So I really just put in my report why they're what needs to be added and where, where, and also to add changing tables to men's bathrooms because there's only changing tables in women's bathrooms that outside of the USU, and there's like maybe 1 or 2 here in the USU, so there's a need for that. So I just wrote up the report. I just want to thank Senator Olgan for bringing this to our attention.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? All right. Seeing none. Sorry, I just wanted to clarify. Yes, Senator Kaddish.
I was just curious, was there any research done into any all gender restrooms that are on campus? I believe there is one, at least in like Maple Hall. I believe that's the new building.
Senator Saravia?
I unfortunately was not able to go to Maple Hall. I just went based on a conversation I had with Senator Toledo Carranza and Senator Dunn.
Yes, Senator Toledo Carranza.
Yeah, so I actually cannot go to the men's restrooms, of course, but I went to the women's restrooms, and a few of them have the bathrooms and the STEM, mostly the STEM buildings are very like small, so it's really hard to have the tables, and the tables are inside a bathroom, and if not, there's no tables in there. So that's something that needs more research about. And Senator, I forgot, but you know, she explained that there might not be changing tables in the men's restrooms. So that's something to look for too. And also, Tim also mentioned this, our advisor.
Well, thank you, Tim, for that. We appreciate it. And thank you, Senator Toledo Carranza. Is there any further discussion? Yes, Senator Tybee.
May I make an amendment?
Yes, go for it.
So I'd like to add the statement after the sentence, no male restrooms outside the USU as a baby changing station, to add a statement following that. Additionally, gender neutral restrooms, and if they have changing tables, baby changing tables will need to be researched. I'll say it one more time, sorry. Additionally, gender neutral restrooms, and if they have baby changing tables will need to be researched.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Kaddish, thank you. Is there any discussion on that amendment? All right, see none. All those in favor of approving the amendment, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstained? Great, the motion passes. Are there any further amendments? All right, see none, we'll go ahead and move back to the discussion of the report. Is there any further discussion before we move into a vote? Great, see no further discussion. All in favor of approving the report on request for changing tables in campus bathrooms as amended, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstained? The motion passes. We will now have to exit committee of the whole. Is there a motion? Senator Kaddish.
I move to exit committee of the whole.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Khan, thank you. Any discussion? Are there any opposed? All right. The motion passes and we are now, motion passes unanimously and we're now out of committee of the whole, but we do need to approve the recommendations made in committee of the whole. So is there any discussion? Alrighty, all those in favor of approving the recommendations made in committee of the whole, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstained? Right, the motion passes. We do have closed session at 11 a.m. Closed session will essentially, the board will just stay here. Unfortunately, our chair of finance and chief of staff do have to leave, as well as our advisor, Denise. And everyone else that is in the gallery except those who sat on the committee, the search and screen committee, excuse me. So Dr. Watkins and John may stay. And Kevin, I don't like kicking people out. I'm really, really sorry. It's not my intention, but unfortunately it is closed session, so. You can leave, but Dr. Ward has to leave. Or you can stay, Dr. Ward has to leave, excuse me. But you're more than welcome to, that's what it indicated on in the Constitution. Yeah. I don't know. The motion passes. I'll now go and turn it over to Attorney General for the final roll call.
All right.
Final
Roll call
Roll
of
call.
all time. All right. Vice President Anderson, Senator Bobnagree, Senator Chavez, Senator Doe, Senator Dunn, Senator Kaddish, Senator Iman Khan, Senator Owais Khan, Senator Mezabin, Senator Radionov, Senator Sarkeesian, Senator Saravia, Senator Scher, Senator Tybee, Senator Toledo Carranza, Senator Tran, Senator Olgan. Congratulations.
I forgot my gavel once again in my office, but I will go ahead and adjourn this meeting at 11:34 a.m. Woo!